In this video, I'm walking through the exact steps I take to build a complete content plan for B2B and how you can use this prompt and 2 extra steps to build a comprehensive content plan to rank for as many keywords as possible that are super related to your industry and help you dominate your market. First step is to take this prompt here, and I actually used Grok to build this prompt. I gave it some baseline information telling it that I want to rank for as many keywords and phrases as possible related to metal fabrication, and to give me information about subpages if necessary, expected word count, URL slug, page title, all of this. And I take this entire prompt and I paste this into GPT. Now, if you want this prompt, comment below and I can send you the link to this actual prompt here that you can use and fill in your keywords and phrases that you want for your industry to build something similarly to what you'll see here. So in GPT here, I take the prompt, paste it in, and I ran this already just to make sure it worked correctly. So we have the output here. It gives an overall strategy and notes here, and then this full table of all this information here that we need. So I take this over here and I will copy this entire table into a Google Sheet so we can work with it a little bit more cleanly. Copy this into this Google Sheet here, paste this in here. And now we have this extremely detailed data set already that has the category, page title, and some of these we will work on. We can make these a little bit better. URL slug, primary keyword, related keywords, which this will be great for content creation, content type, content objective, target audience, word count, which I'll get to this in a second as well, how we can make sure this is set up and structured better. Internal linking suggestions. We can actually prompt this a little bit more and improve this as well. Additional notes here, and that's it. So first thing to do is to see if all of these pages here actually make sense and or if there's anything missing. And we can then do some manual work here to shift this around a little bit and make sure that we have all of the content that we absolutely need. So first is, let's look at the ultimate guide to metal fabrication here, the main page. That makes sense. A lot of times you having an ultimate guide or something like that is more so for a content style site. So in this case, metal fabrication services might be the primary pillar instead of ultimate guide, depending on your site, of course. So then we have metal fabrication services, and then we have these sub-services here, which don't necessarily fit under metal fabrication necessarily, but with other research I've done, and you would know this way better based on your site and your market, is we have metal fabrication services, and there are sub-services related to that or certain types of metals that may make sense to have additional pages for. And what I mean by that is if I go into Ahrefs here, and this is sub-step 1 for building this out in more detail than you can do with just AI alone. So then we go to, and potentially you could do that with additional prompting, but based on my initial prompt here, we have some gaps. So we have metal fabrication services, sheet metal fabrication services. So if we go back here, do we have a sheet metal page? We do have a sheet metal bending and press break. So that's might be related to that, but a page specifically about sheet metal fabrication might make more sense, and then have bending and press break within that content. And then custom, that might make sense to have that page as well. Industrial, custom, steel, metal. So that might make sense. Precision, aerospace, then we can get into some of the industries here. Sheet metal, rolled. So right now I'm seeing that, where was it? Steel. Steel would make sense potentially. Do we have steel in here? So this page here, types of metal used in fabrication. On this page, we would have information about steel, copper, sheet metal, stainless steel, whatever. And then we could have sub-pages for each of those as well. So I would further build this out to include all of those. This is just a good starting point to get us some ideas as to what we should be doing from that perspective. Now, next thing I would do as I'm building this content is figure out what needs to be done and what needs to be added in terms of content and content length. So then we look at word count here, and I'll just show you one example. So if we look at metal fabrication services, which is this row 3 here, the prompt here gave us 1,000 to 1,500 words of content. What I would do for every single one of these is to use NEURONWriter. And what I've done here is I put the key phrase in as metal fabrication services. And then this is going to look at the top 10 ranking sites organic. And when I click next here, it will look at the average or expected word length. And actually GPT got it right for us. So GPT suggested 1,000 to 1,500, and it shows here 1,108. So then we can put this in here as exactly either 1,108 or 1,100-ish, whatever you want it to do. And then as you're building the content, you know the word length that you should have based on the websites currently ranking for this. Then you can work to build this content out based on all of this information, these related keywords here that you've added in, and you have the page title, primary key phrase, and expected length. Then you start building this content, working through page by page, and making sure to add internal links as recommended here, column J, to the different pages here. And as you're building this content, you're adding internal links to the content as you write it. And this provides search engines and AI with better understanding about how your content relates and what you should be ranking for. It makes it easier for you to rank for what you want to rank for as well. That's a very quick overview of how to build a content plan using AI with some additional manual intervention to make sure that you are building this as thoroughly as possible to rank for as many keywords as possible that make sense for you and for your industry. Hope you got some value from this video. If you did, subscribe to my channel. I'd greatly appreciate that. And that's it. I'll see you on the next one.